Hello, this is Brian Largent with the ArcLight Group. Today we're going to be unboxing a Lenovo laptop, and it's a little different laptop, so I was going to do a video on it. This is actually for me personally. It is a little more high-end than most of the things that we sell. Normally we sell business class laptops with a Core i5, 8 gigs of RAM, and 128 or 256 gig solid state drive. Those are perfect devices for business users that aren't doing computer-aided design or anything that takes a lot of horsepower. Those are great, and they'll last easily 5 years or more with plenty of horsepower, as long as your environment's kept clean and you're running antivirus and keeping all the junk off your systems. On this particular device, it's going to me. I'm an IT professional. I do some video editing, a little bit of graphic design with Photoshop. I wanted something with a little more horsepower because of what I do. Not because I think it's going to extend the life of the device. It doesn't really matter extending the life on processor. It's the horsepower you're going to have right now, because a year from now, a Core i5 is probably going to be as fast as this Core i7, or maybe 2 years from now. Okay, so it doesn't really extend the life that much. So when I chose this laptop, I was looking for a few things. I was looking for a very light laptop with a 15-inch screen or bigger, and a solid-state drive, 256 gig or 512 gig or so in storage, and I wanted a touch screen. So I chose this Lenovo. Lenovo did not make a upper middle of the road laptop. They make this one, which is an X1 Extreme is what they call it. They market it as a business laptop to a degree, but it has a very beefy graphics card in it. Gamers would probably really enjoy this laptop. I don't really need it for gaming. I read some of the reviews. They say it gets pretty hot if you're running games on it. I'm going to do some light video editing. Like I said, it's probably not going to be a big issue for me. But I did a lot of my research. There were some pros and cons with the laptop. Like I said, if you're doing a lot of really intensive stuff, it does heat up quite a bit. That's true of almost any device that's doing a lot of CPU intensive work. Well, let's go ahead and unbox it. I'm going to start by unboxing this first, and I believe this is my VGA to HDMI adapter. So this is so I can run it to a VGA on a projector whenever I do presentations. It's nice to have. So I'm an IT guy. If your IT guy doesn't keep a Leatherman in his pocket at all times, he's a fraud. So you need to spot that. If you can't use pliers or have a screwdriver handy, then you haven't been doing IT very long. So it's also got a knife for opening boxes. It's dull as all get out because all I do is open boxes with it. So this is my little adapter. So we'll take the plastic off that. Nothing special about this. I could have bought an off-brand a whole lot cheaper. It would have been fine, but like so many of us do, I'm on there buying my laptop. I don't want to mess with looking anything else up, so I buy the more expensive Lenovo branded adapter. But you can see there, it's got a VGA and HDMI port so that I can run that through USB and connect to external devices just fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. It seems to be built just fine. It's made by DisplayLink, which interesting. They use DisplayLink to make that. Okay, so next is my laptop. So we'll pop that open. So, okay. Oh, and it comes in another box. Good. I like opening as many boxes as possible. Set that aside. So what we got here is probably I'm guessing this is my charger, charging brick, cord. All the companies have been doing this for a while, but it's really nice is they make the power cord separate from the charging brick, and that way this thing gets ran over or destroyed, you can pop another one in there cheap. Using a fairly standard, see if you can see that, fairly standard connection there. I like it. It's not too big. It's decent size. It's not super heavy. It's fairly thin, going to be easy to travel with. I don't like this really wonky way they did their power plug. Not a fan. I'm sure it's just fine. I'm just used to using round plugs. Most of my laptops before this one were Dell. My guys that work for me, they've used almost, I think, yeah, they're both on Lenovo's now. They love them. They're the ones that kind of told me I really needed to consider these Lenovo's, so, which I like them. I do like the Lenovo's, but I was a big fan of the Dell Precision laptops for myself. I've had a really good luck with that. In fact, the laptop I'm grandfathering down to my son, who's getting ready to go to college next year at Oklahoma State University, is a Dell Precision 15. It's been a fantastic laptop. Only downside to it is the battery life has dwindled rapidly. I've only had the laptop about 1.5 years or so, and it's dwindled rapidly. And I wouldn't be upgrading it, except maybe putting a new battery in it, except for my son going to school. He's going to need a laptop, and this is my excuse to get a new one. Yay me. I'm gaming the system. Okay, so here's my laptop in the box. Pop this thing out without cutting myself. You know, with a name like Extreme, it justifies putting it in 3 boxes. It came in another box, then it came in this box and this box. So the more money you spend, the more your packing material starts to look like Russian nesting dolls. So I mean, it's very fancy, it's glossy. It'll go right in the trash whenever I know it works or I have to send it back for whatever reason. Okay, oh man, this is like a Cisco Meraki or an Apple device now. You're getting the fancy, everything's under a little cover. I'm so impressed, I'll buy millions of these now because they put the money into that. Instead of the laptop, it's got the fancy little plastic. Again, that's something that Apple started with their packaging to make you feel like you're really opening something special. Okay, so that's the laptop. See, it's very thin, that's what I was going for. It's got 2 fans on it. One of the complaints on this laptop as I researched it was that it can be very noisy. It sounds like it's only noisy whenever you're doing CPU intensive stuff, design work or gaming or something like that. You know, we'll see. There was some complaints that it just spins up on its own and gets really noisy. Fan noise is not a big deal to me, but if I'm going to be sitting near other people working with this, which I do in conference rooms on a regular basis, I really don't want to be annoying the people around me. So we'll see. I may have to underclock the CPU, which is one of the recommendations online. One of the things I like on this, some laptops, which they don't do this much anymore, but occasionally they do, they'll have a latch here. You got to push to be able to disconnect it. And it won't come open unless you hit it just right. And that's really annoying. So this one doesn't have it. You can just pop it open. It's got a pretty good hinge, it seems. You can see it's an X1. Okay, so we'll pop it open. So it's not a reversible. It is a touch screen, so it does open up pretty wide. Not that I have any reason to probably ever use it that way, but it does. I'm looking to feel right through here whenever I open the monitor. I don't want it to be too loose. Last thing in the world you want is if you've ever had a floppy monitor on a laptop, it's really irritating as it won't stay up or it slowly goes all the way down and you got to keep adjusting it after a while. So I don't see anything on here that really bothers me. I've got a print screen button. I don't know why we need a custom print screen button, but it's got one. So we've got 2 USB 3.0 ports, power plug, HDMI, Ethernet adapter port, audio, 2 regular USB ports. I'm sorry, there's a USB. I have 3 USB-C or 2 USB-C ports and 2 regular USB ports that are on this side. Memory card reader, laptop locks location. So I haven't plugged it in. It's probably got a little juice. Let's see if it powers on. I'll set it up here. And you should really fold up your knife before you stab yourself with it. These have a tendency to fall on you. So I did not do that. Amateur. Okay, it does not look like this has any power at all. Okay, so we'll plug it in real quick. Do, 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 do. We'll hold music for you. So the power cord plugs in on the left side, which is great because most people are right-handed, and I've had computers with power cords on the right side. It's very frustrating. One thing that I'll tell you, if you like to use a corded mouse, which if you like to use a corded mouse, you probably have got a mental disorder, or you're a hardcore gamer that wants the fast mousing speed of a physical connection. But if you've got a regular mouse, you're going to be disappointed because it's going to plug in right here and have a cord going across your mousing surface if you're right-handed. There is no regular USB ports on this other side over here other than the USB-Cs. So let's go ahead and turn it on. And it's got the backlit keyboard, which is kind of nice. It's a great way to keep your wife awake if you work in bed at night while you're trying to get some stuff knocked out, and it lights up the whole room. She'll enjoy that. It does have a fingerprint reader over here. Supposedly there's a way to unlock and turn this computer on by swiping your finger on here. I'm thinking that it has to be in sleep mode for that to work. I can't imagine it would work any other way. I don't usually put my computers to sleep and store them. I usually turn them completely off and then power them on. So I don't know if that'll be that beneficial for me. I'll have to test that some. But it is nice to have a fingerprint reader on it. A nice size screen. It seems to be pretty durable. I don't know what they coat the surface of these laptops with. It's real smooth. It doesn't feel like it's going to stick to my hand. You know, if the laptop heats up or you're in a hot environment, a server closet at a small provider, usually they're a little hotter, might stick to it. So that's pretty much it. I mean, other than that, just setting it up. We'll see if how it works, and I'll do another video after I've used it for a couple of weeks and give you my opinion on if it's a worthwhile investment for power users out there. But it is a very high-end, more standard laptop before you get into the computer-aided design workstation laptops, which are usually much bulkier, much hotter running for people that are doing like CAD or computer-aided design, drafting, things like that. So anyway, that's all I've got. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, shoot me an email. If you're thinking about buying this laptop, reach out to me if I haven't done my video yet, and I'll tell you where we're at. Have a great rest of your week.